And welcome to Brown Sugar Confessions. We are hitting the end of Kinktober. Can you believe it? It's been 4 weeks already. I don't know. For me, this feels like it has gone by way too fast. We know the Time Lords are playing with our timeline, and I wish they would stop because look, the hair that has grown out on my leg is like 4 week old hair, and I know I just
First of
shaved
all,
my legs
ma'am,
like 2 days
ma'am,
ago.
ma'am.
Tell it was not
TMI.
true.
Is it growing
Not
anywhere else like that at that rate?
no, no. So it is just my leg. So Time Lord, stop it. First, I'd like to say, one, welcome to Brown Sugar Confessions. It is Kinktober. We are on our last week, and we want to thank our listeners to listening to us on Power 1017. And if you're listening to us and you want a little more of us because we're awesome, skip on over to YouTube, look for Brown Sugar Confessions, exactly how it sounds, exactly how it spells, and you will see our lovely faces. Click on it, like, share, and comment. Like, we're gonna make a whole playlist. So, like, you're gonna be able to clean your whole house if you're me, like a Virgo, and you clean your whole house while you're listening to podcasts. You're gonna be able to do that. Like, it's awesome. Also, if you want to listen to us on Spotify, hop on over to Brown Sugar Confessions. Download Spotify. Of course, you have to do that now. Boo.
That's
But
important.
download it and go listen to us on Spotify. We're going to get straight into it. We have an amazing guest. We'd like to welcome our guest first of all. We have Louisiana Cannabis, Jessica Potts. Welcome to Brown Sugar
Hi. Thank you
Confessions.
for having me.
You're welcome. And of course, we have our lovely hostess with the mostesses. We have the lovely KD. She is doing hot girl stuff, so she may chime in later. If you act right, she may chime in later.
Only if you act right.
And we have the ever lovely Miss T. And I do have to
Oh,
say this right now. Finally, Miss T is offering her spiritual services. She reads tarot, and she's finally offering her services to the masses. You need to find
I'm
her
out in
really
the world,
easy.
y'all. I'm out in the world.
Look, what I'm going to tell you is there are lots of people who read tarot, right? We know this. And when they read tarot, they're not reading from a place in their heart. They're reading tarot because it's a dollar sign and they just want to tell you anything.
Mhm.
And that is not how Miss T is at all. When she reads, she's not what I'm telling you is she's not reading you for filth or anything like that. But what she is doing is she's reading you from her heart and she's giving you the honest truth so that you can better yourself and you can see what's popping. I'm going to suggest that she tells you what her EC is so you can hop on over there and share and purchase, of course, and get to know her and get to know her services so that she can blow up and keep helping the world be a better place.
My God,
So
that was like
we're
one
going
of
to
the
talk about,
best reviews I ever had. Can I get that in writing? Can I
you're
put that on my
welcome.
website? Cause Jesus,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
try not to
So we're
cry
going to
over
get
here. Oh my
into
God.
it.
Oh,
Look, I love you, boo.
About to say
I
it
love
can't be
you.
shedding G tears. We just started the show.
So we're going to get into it. We welcomed our guests, but I want to know how Miss Jessica Potts is doing this lovely evening.
I'm doing great. I'm really excited. Like I've never done a brown sugar confession, so I'm
Oh,
really
you picked the best one. You picked the
yeah.
best time.
So yeah, I'm
We
really
don't bite
excited to see how this
unless you
goes.
ask.
Yeah,
Okay.
Consent.
that consent is everything.
Consent. Um, how are you doing, Miss T?
Oh man, I am so excited. Spooky season weekend is finally here. Halloween is finally here, and there's so much stuff happening in Atlanta this weekend. And I'm like, I want to do everything, but I can only do one thing, and that's going to be one music fest. So if you're in the one music fest streets and you just happen to see me bouncing around with some glow in the dark cat ears on, mind your business, store, come say hi. But either
Yeah, I
way,
got
I'm going
some
to have a
great
great time,
dates.
and I'm very excited. And remember, cuffing season is still on the rise. So if you haven't had your clink clink yet, or you ain't figured it out, hopefully you'll figure out by how everybody looks in their Halloween costumes this
Mm,
weekend. But I got a story to tell for y'all. Y'all ready? Let's
No,
talk
but
about
yeah.
it. Let's talk about it. I'm gonna give you the title first. I met my future husband when I called the cops on him. All right,
Ew.
you're ready. Let's do it. Let's talk about it. So,
that's different.
it's very different. Like they literally took cuffing season to a whole nother level. So, Katherine Johnson met her future husband Michael Johnston when she called the cops on him after he drunkenly stumbled into her house through an unlocked door and passed out on her couch. First of all, it is 2023. Why are we still walking around with our doors unlocked? At least at night. I hope this happened at night. So, 7 years later, they are married with child. But here's what the story was. So, at the time she was 22 years old and she was going out for the night. She had told her sister, hey, I'm gonna be home later, keep the door unlocked. So all right, sister leaves the door unlocked, and then I'm assuming she went to bed. I don't know. But anyway, after hours of partying, she comes back to find some random guy snoring on her couch. So what does any normal person do? They call the cops because there's a random person on my couch snoring like he lives here, and clearly he doesn't. So cops come get him, and what had happened was Michael was going out, and his coworker said, hey, you can crash at my place, I'll leave the door unlocked. So he went over thinking that that was his coworker's place and crashed on the couch, but that was not his coworker's place. His coworker's place was a couple of houses in another direction. So that's how he got picked up by the cops. And so thankfully, she didn't press charges once everything was explained. He showed back up, with flowers, and was like, I'm really sorry about what happened. They kikied about it, and then next thing you know, Michael's meeting the parents. They get married, they get a dog, they have a kid, and everything was happily ever after. So, is the cuffing season that cuffed the right way? Maybe.
Ew. As a Virgo, ew. You broke
Why ew?
into my house. I'm not going to date you. You broke into my house. You broke into my house.
Did he break in though, or did he walk in because you left it open?
That's true. He
Breaking
did,
is
she did leave the door open.
just because I leave something open don't mean come in.
This is also true. This is also very, very true. And thing, because I'm like, it's adorable, but on the other side, we trespassing. Drunk or sober. It's like, but
Now
which
I
is
did read that he had like he explained the story to her parents and apologized. And once the father was like, "Oh, I see that like this is a crazy mistake."
like this could have happened to anybody.
Yeah. then
Not me.
it was cool.
Like I say, I was like, this is how people end up, under the morgue is messing around and ended up in the wrong people's houses. You gotta be careful out here. We're in 2023.
No, I couldn't do it. I could not do it. No. You broke into my house, man. We got to fight. We have to it's
That.
fisticuffs. What's that thing where they used to do in the old days where you slap somebody with the glove?
Oh, I challenge you
Y'all
to a
know what I'm
duel.
talking about?
Yeah, they slap
That's
him with
what
the
we did.
glove, be like, we are fighting at dawn.
But it wouldn't be a regular glove. It would be like one of them knighted gloves, the metal ones. That's what I would have to slap you with.
Oh, like they
Like,
did in Robin Hood, Men in Tights.
Yes, that one.
movie, my favorite movie.
First
Gender.
of all, Radioland, if you don't know what Robin Hood Men in Tights is, you're missing out, and I need you to catch up.
For real. That was
Look,
the
okay.
original days.
So you guys want to know something?
What's up?
One one of my cosplays for this upcoming year, I'm actually going to be on uh I'm gonna be Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Hold on, like Robin Hood, like Robin of Locksley.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be awesome.
And
That's gonna be awesome.
Lana Dixon, she's
Hmm.
gonna dress up and we're gonna sing Men in Tights. We're all gonna
I love
dress
it.
up. And if Brenda goes, we're all gonna dress up. I started making the cosplays already.
I love it. I
Oh,
am absolutely
so
in love with it.
do we have another hot topic
We
that
do.
we can
So,
do?
and this is also in the season of cuffing season. So, I know there's a bunch of y'all out there that are like, I don't even know like if anybody's like interested in me. I don't know how to cuff people. I don't even know how to get cuffed. Well, guess what? There are hints in case you realize that somebody is into you. So, according to this dating expert, let me see if I can find his name in here. Jacob Lucas is a dating expert and he's exposing courting advice and secrets on TikTok. So he made a video about 5 things that you need to look out for to determine if somebody is interested in you. So the first one is the first sign a potential partner will show is that they will always come to you for advice. Okay, so if you see people that are always coming to you for, your perspective, they probably into you. And two of the reasons they do this because they highly value your opinion, and also because it is a good excuse to talk to you. I mean, that makes sense. So then another sign is when they are playfully teasing you. And then I thought about it. I'm like, is this part of that reason when they say that boys are picking on you is because they like you?
No,
No?
no, because
No?
teasing is something silly like, oh my gosh, you like gummy bears, not when dudes hit you
That's fair.
with clumps of dirt on the playground. I'm sorry.
That's fair. That is fair.
That's their emotional modulation at that age.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So, also the Jacob Lucas is also from the UK. I forgot to mention that. So, UK TikTok people, go find them if you want more information on cuffing season. So, another way to know if somebody, is into you, they slide into your DMs, which I mean, we all knew that, so that's not really giving us much. And then let's see, what is the last one? Always commenting on your stories or sending you memes. And then another indication is that somebody's trying to make you your bae before Christmas is that they try to copy the way you speak and mirror your slang. So if they're trying to mirror you in your actions and how they talk, that means they may be interested in you. So now everybody, I need you
I'm
to think to the last people that you've been around who's been copying you, who's been talking to you in your DMs. I like, don't be like me. I talk to everybody in my DMs. I send everybody memes. I send everybody memes. If we're friends, you're not safe. You are no longer safe from me being the meme lord.
But you know what? Where it does work to mirror the person you're interested in talking to mirror their affectations and their expressions and their hand movements. It works. It works
Hmm.
so well that at this point it's a guaranteed for me. Like I do this thing where you look into the left eye, the right eye, and then down at their mouth and then back up at both of their eyes. Game over. Game over, boo. You're mine.
Huh.
That's how we work.
Have you done this to me? Now I have to think
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
Like, is this why we're so cool? Oh my god, she don't put a spell on me. Look, then I gotta think
Oh,
about like, dang, have I like been mirroring people? Like, when I read that, I'm like, I'm literally taking a self assessment of myself. Like, dang,
yeah. It's
does this
wild,
person
right?
like me? Do I like them?
Probably not. If you're like me and you got that Leo, that Libra placement in a weird place, no, you're just flirting with people to flex your power. That's it. That's
Ah,
literally it.
dang.
All
Okay,
right.
so don't be
So
space aliens.
yeah, don't be a space bunny like me. Do not be a
Ah,
space bunny like me. By the time you finish space bunning, you have dates with four different people, and you're in your pajamas. You're not going nowhere, so you got to ghost these fools. So don't be like me. Don't be like me. Be better than me. All right, so we're gonna get into this show, and I want to read Jessica's her bio. So Jessica is a Louisiana native born woman who has been passionate about caring for others. She was raised on a 400-acre cotton and soybean farm in rural northeast Louisiana, which exposed her to both the science and business aspects of agriculture. At a very young age, she discovered the beauty of nature. Sh- But I mean, she's the education is phenomenal. But I have to say thank you for being a United States teacher and teaching our young folks and
That.
inspiring them. She is a veteran teacher for 15 years. I have to say thank you. I could never do that. I thank you for your patience and your willingness to teach and be patient with the children. Because of Jessica's expertise, passion for helping other people, Jessica has become a well-known industry leader in the cannabis and hemp industry across Louisiana and the South. In 2015, she was part of a lobbying team that successfully pushed legal medicinal cannabis through the Louisiana legislature, which, if you're not from the US, which some of our listeners are not from the US, you have to understand that southern states are very strict.
Mm-hmm.
They operate on a moral code that abides by the Bible, is what I'm going to say. Um, so to get that legislative passed for medical use is humongous. It is humongous. Um, Jessica was also essential in the foundation of the entire Louisiana state medical cannabis program through her in depth knowledge of the industry and her precise skill set. In 2018, she was one of the first and only Black women to own and operate a cannabis cultivation, manufacturing, and distribution company. Jessica also went on to found Bonne Sante LLC, which provides patient education, facilitates patient enrollment into the state medical marijuana program, and her efforts do not stop there. In 2023, she held the first community outreach, education, and entertainment festival in Louisiana centered around cannabis. Jessica is now looking into hemp manufacturing, international exports, and imports through the New Orleans International Port. Thank you so much for being here, Jessica. I love cannabis. Uh, if you've listened to this show long enough, you know I am your resident edible expert. No, I'm just joking. I just like edibles. I'm not expert.
She's a connoisseur, is what she's saying.
That's what
Very,
I
very
heard.
much so. So
You got
let's
questions,
get
so you can probably
into
answer them.
look. So let's get into it because we're talking kink.
Yeah.
And now we have brought in cannabis. We are going to be talking the intersection of bringing cannabis into your intimate play. Like, let's talk consent, let's talk pros and cons, and all of that, all of those things. So, I want to ask Miss Potts about why be a cannabis advocate.
Oh, okay. So that's a long story that I'm going to really try to make concise. I was an advocate for cannabis because I became an advocate for myself first. Um,
Mm.
when I was 21, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. Um, I have had to learn how to walk 7 times in my adult life. Um, I have been in pain management for 3 years due to the side effects of steroids and other medications that they use to treat MS. I had to have a total hip replacement when I was 34. Um, at that time, when I had to have the hip replacement, I was on fentanyl, morphine, and 6 to 8 Percocets per day.
Wow.
Yeah, while
Whoa.
teaching.
Wow.
So, um, I was living a shell of a life, as you can imagine. Very depressed, very withdrawn. Didn't really have any life or hope of life because I was in so much pain. And I was, by the time I was 40, they said I would need to be prepared to go full. Um, I was very depressed, and my mom encouraged me to go to California to USC to get at that time a third opinion, and that's where they recommended cannabis for the first time. uh I was really skeptical because I grew up in the 80s, um the war on drugs. I was a dare kid. um I'm also, like, at that time, a teacher living in Louisiana. It's not legal. I could lose everything. But I was in such pain that I didn't have a choice. It was either heal or die. So um my cousin got me some gummies, and I had a 10 milligram gummy, and that took away all the pain. So, not with the fentanyl, not the morphine, not the Percocets. And then I just dove down that rabbit hole of the actual history, the actual science of cannabis, and how it just actually became prohibited in the early 1900s. It's been used as medication for millions of years. Um, and then the politics and racism of why it was prohibited and criminalized across the world. And Catrice knows that I'm kind of one of those hard-headed individuals where it's like, if I discover something, or I feel like, okay, well, this is helping me, how dare I not tell everybody that this can help you? So I got involved, and I spoke before legislation here, you know, did all the political rounds, and we were able to finally get it legalized here medically.
Wow.
Wow.
So,
That's
That
big.
is,
yeah.
yeah,
Cause like if you've been
that's
to
bigger than
Louisiana,
big.
like the
I
only thing
know.
they allow is like alcohol, and that's it.
And
Alcohol
it's
and
a lot of
Bibles.
Yeah.
alcohol, a
Yeah.
lot of alcohol. And we are the prison capital of the world. So
The
we have the
world.
largest, yes,
Yeah.
Angola Prison State Penitentiary, which was a former plantation, is the largest prison in the world.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
So,
wild.
Wow.
yeah, human capital is big money here. So, um, them allowing cannabis in, it still has its ups and downs because, hey, this is the world that we're in, where you can make money off of enslaving people still. So that stuff still goes on, but I don't plan on leaving home because of it. I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna continue to fight for people, children, the elderly especially, to have
Mhm.
access.
Wow. That
Excellent.
is, I don't even know what to say. Especially when you talked about having to learn to walk 7 different times. Like when we think about that, um, and you think about how hard that is, just for a person to relearn how to walk to learn how to walk once in their life, right? But you had to relearn how to walk 7 different times. One, the amount of just hard-headed stubbornness and stick-to-itiveness is is to be applauded, but at the same time to hear the amount, for me, the amount of medication that you were on and how you were still asked to function as a normal human being is astounding. And the fact that they would rather put you on these heavy, heavy, heavy drugs. And when I say heavy, if you've taken any of those drugs, you understand how heavy they are.
Mhm.
I'm
Um,
like the fact that you had to take more than one at the same time.
yeah.
Like, how
It
are
was
you still alive, ma'am?
it was a cocktail. And I was also on chemo as well, which had a whole nother
Jesus.
set of side effects. So, um, and by the time I had the hip replacement, my body was so tolerant. I felt everything when I woke up. They couldn't
Ah,
stop the pain. So I totally felt how they had sawed my leg off.
oh my gosh, I don't even know what to say. But what I'm going to say right now is stay tuned. We're going to come back. We need to pay those bills. So
Just a little
stay
bit.
tuned. We'll be right back. If you're on YouTube, like just kick it. We're going to do some Am I the A in a little bit. All right. We'll see you after break. Bye.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Oh my gosh. So we're on break now, right?
Yes.
Yo, that's wild.
That's wild.
That's
Like
wild, wild.
I'm thinking like just the amount of uh hold on, are we doing the thing? Oh no, just kidding. Um I'm thinking like the amount of drugs in combination plus chemo plus you had to learn to walk plus you felt everything afterwards. I'm like that's enough of a horror movie right there. We got
Yes,
Yes.
script.
yes, right
Wow,
there.
that is bananas. I don't even know what to say, but well, I do know what I want to say. Like, thank you for being so strong
Strong.
for yourself. Really,
Yeah.
honestly, thank you for being strong for yourself because here's what wouldn't have happened if you hadn't been alive, if you had gave up at any one of those instances, you would not be able to help thousands of people in your state just find relief and find some sort of normalcy in the
Mhm.
madness that is pain. If you've ever dealt with or seen somebody deal with an illness like MS, lupus, cancer, any of those things, you
Mhm.
know what you don't know, but you know. You
Mhm.
watch them go through it, and then for them to be able to get something as simple as cannabis, something that grows out of the ground naturally. They would rather give you fentanyl
I'm about
than
to
give you
say, ain't that
something
what they
that's grown
like
out.
cutting everybody's drugs with
Yes,
now?
yes, and now it's killing everybody.
I was like, I am so confused. When you said fentanyl, I was
It's
like, wait a
killing
minute,
your
I thought they said
liver.
no fentanyl.
No, no,
All
no.
these
They were
things
saying yes
murder
to fentanyl.
your liver and they don't care. Cannabis doesn't have such tax on the liver as some of those hardcore drugs do. And I mean, let's be very honest, why do we think that is? They never quite figured out how to capitalize
Hmm.
off of cannabis, from these pharmaceutical companies. I think they're slowly itching their way into it. I think what I found out is that a lot of companies that are all associated, because half these companies own half the other companies, they just started investing into the cannabis world. So that was their
Mhm.
in, and that's why they were able to let it go and say, all right, let's start pushing it because they don't want to see these companies lose money.
And if you notice, the rescheduling of cannabis is being talked about now to move it from Schedule 1 to Schedule, I think, 3. And once
Oh,
they do that, the pharmaceutical companies have it. Like,
Right.
then it can be researched, it can be patented, manufactured, distributed, and you just have to say it has a potential for abuse. That's what Schedule
wow.
2 is.
Yep.
That's
They
wild.
I think it's very timely that they are talking about the rescheduling of it. And now,
Right
what is it?
before
Is it
election.
right before
Mm.
election and right as CVS is about to go on strike? on the 1st of November. Did y'all know that?
What?
Yeah,
No.
CVS is going to go on strike. So
The
if
pharmacists there.
the pharmacists are, because there aren't enough pharmacists or techs. Um, I know in
Okay.
my area, a lot of the CVS pharmacies close at a certain time because the
Hmm.
pharmacists can't work that many hours. So if you're listening and you have your prescriptions at CVS and you're due for something, you better call your doctor and see if you can get your prescription before the first, because I feel like there will be some some delay, if not an extreme delay, some delay,
Wow.
especially if you need your medications. It's all it's a coinky dink, is what I like to call it. Um, so,
Not a coinky dink.
but before we get back to the show, I promised an MIDA, so I'm
Yes,
going to
let's do it.
deliver. I'm going to deliver. All right. So this one is titled Bride to Be is forced to choose between going ahead with a surprise wedding or quitting. What would you do?
Quitting what?
A, quitting the relationship.
Oh, okay.
A
Okay.
surprise wedding?
A surprise wedding.
Okay, I never
Okay.
heard of
So last week,
It's questionable.
a 30 female, was invited to a supposedly fancy party by my longtime boyfriend, Mark, a 32 male. We've been dating for 5 years, and while we've discussed marriage before, there's no immediate plans for a wedding. Excited about the event, I dressed up in my best attire and arrived at the designated venue. As I entered the grand hall, I was completely taken aback to see all of our family, friends, and acquaintances gathered, waiting, eagerly waiting for me. Turns out Mark had orchestrated an elaborate surprise wedding for us without my knowledge. Everyone erupted into applause as I stood there shocked and overwhelmed. I just felt a mix of emotions. While I love Mark and had dreams of our future together, the idea of getting married without any prior discussion or consent felt like a breach of trust. So I pulled Mark aside and expressed my concerns and reservations about the surprise wedding. I explained that I wanted to have a say in the process, to be a part of the decision making, to have the chance to prepare mentally and emotionally for such a significant milestone in our lives. However, Mark dismissed my concerns, saying that he thought it would be a romantic gesture and thought I'd be thrilled. In that moment, I faced a difficult choice to go along with the surprise wedding, putting on a smile despite feeling unsettled, or stand up for my autonomy and my voice my true feelings. I ultimately made the decision not to proceed with the wedding, much to the disappointment and confusion of our guests. Now I find myself at odds with Mark, our families, and even some of my friends who believe overreacted and spoiled a beautiful moment.
Hmm.
However, I firmly believe that marriage should be a joint decision with open communication and shared expectations. Everyone excuse for this is I have always talked about marrying Mark. And again, the problem isn't marrying him. The problem isn't is having not a single solitary say in the day that is supposed to be the most significant day of a young woman's life. I think it's stressful, and that I think that the marriage date would be successful, and I would love the opportunity to plan my own. After the whole ordeal, everyone asked if Mark and I were going to end things, in which I replied no. I emphasized them um, that then Mark and I still wanted to be married. Am I the asshole for
A hole. We're on
not
break. It don't
attending
matter.
my own? Oh, am I the A for not attending my own wedding? And I want to know, we'll start with our guest, Jessica. Are they the A for not going through with the wedding?
No, I want to know who were her friends and family, because none of my friends or family would be like, "This is a good idea." Like nobody would agree. Would be like, "No, no, we can't do that." Yeah,
Can we
no.
can we ask the cat, since the cat kind of ninja this way over here? The cat was just like, "What's this me? Was this happening? Am I the a hole? Let me in on this."
What do you think, KD?
Yeah, no, I not only is she not the a-hole, I think she needs to piece herself out of that situation altogether because he's already shown that her opinion doesn't matter. And that's a really tough position to be in. Like he mm-mm. Like so let me start off with this. I am not one that believes that we all need to have these big, gigantic fairy tale weddings and stuff like that. And I think a lot of times we do ourselves a disservice to have these
Mhm.
big, grandiose of ideas of what a wedding should be. It's really just a ceremony, and it doesn't need to be that big. All of this is consumerism and capitalism and ways that they have forced people to spend more money. That said, irregardless of the fact that I am not fond of this idea that we need to have all of these inputs and it's the biggest day of any woman's life. I don't
Mhm.
agree with her. I don't believe it's the biggest day of any woman's life. I don't believe that it needs to be super well planned out, but this is her idea. This is what she wanted. And if you are going into a marriage, it's very important to be able to see eye to eye and respect each other's opinions. And if he's not going in and starting this with respecting her opinion and taking her criticism seriously, apologizing for mis misstepping and mistaking what he thought would be the right way. If he's not willing to do all that, he's probably not going to be a good person to be married to.
Facts.
What do you got to say, Miss T?
I agree. I do not think she's the a hole. However, just for SNG, I would have went with it, went through with it, and then annulled it the next day.
Oh, goodness
You
gracious.
so petty. I love it.
Annul it because clearly you didn't take my consideration in, so I'm not taking your consideration for this marriage. You got what you want. Now I'm about to get what I want.
Dang, that's rough.
That's gangster. That's
Yeah,
This is
gangster.
this
I
is
love
that's
it.
a
why
ninja move. That's a
this
ninja
this is
move.
why you do not like ask the Aries for things like that. Be like, yeah, go with it, and then annul it immediately afterwards. But no, I think that, and here's my thing: if he actually knew his wife or his partner as he thought
Mhm.
he did, this wouldn't have even happened. Like if
Mhm.
if you're with an individual and you know that individual loves surprises, like they've talked about having a surprise wedding or a surprise birthday party, then yeah, you run with the surprise because you know that's in their will box, right? But if they have never at any time said they want a surprise of any kind, they have never said that they like surprises, why would you do that? You didn't do that for them, you did that for you.
For you. Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing, is like, it's okay if you want that for yourself. If you love surprises, by all means, my guy, let me surprise you,
Mm.
you know? And if this was me, oh, I'm definitely going to surprise you. It ain't going to be in the way that you want, though.
Oh my
But
gosh.
that's my two
So
cents.
I I I thought about this, and you're right. If he knew his partner, this wouldn't have even been.
It wouldn't
If
have
he
been a thing.
cared for her, if he cared for her and knew her, this would not have been a thing. Um, I was I've been asked to be married. I've been proposed to quite a few times, right? And every time I did not like the way the proposal went, I said no. But there was one time a guy was proposing to me, and his his family had tried to pressure him. His friends and family and coworkers had tried to pressure him into asking me to marry him in front of a lot of people.
Mhm.
And he openly said, "She'll punch me in my mouth if I
Mm.
do that."
But he knew
And
you.
he knew
He
me.
knew you.
He came back to his place where I was staying, and he asked me in the privacy of his home. And then when we went to dinner with everybody, everybody saw the ring, and they were quite surprised. They were like, "Oh, you already asked her?" And he goes, "Do you see her? I love her, and she will punch me in the mouth." if I embarrass her like that. She does I don't like public things. I like private things. And
Mm-hmm.
he's just like, "No." He goes, and when I asked her in private, she even like I hid under the covers. Like that's how shy I am. I hid. He's just like, "No." So the fact that he's doing this before you're even married suggests to me that in other if you were to marry him, your what you would want wouldn't even be a thought in his mind. It would always be what he wanted. And I've already thought of that. Like you're overthinking it. You're being complicated. He
That's
would
gaslighting
dismiss
right
you at
there.
every, yeah, he would dismiss her at every turn. And I would say that is a huge breach of disrespect. Please see that red flag for what it is
Mhm.
before you have a child with this person and before you enter into a, for lack of a better word, a legally binding contract with someone.
Get
Think
it
about that.
annulled before you got to get a full.
Yeah, I'm with the Aries on this one. I'm with the Aries.
Listen,
Say
save yourself
yeah,
some trouble,
yeah.
man. Save yourself
Look,
some
I'm gonna
trouble. And if they don't
we
like
gonna
it,
take these
fake your
pictures.
death.
Look, we gonna take these pictures. You gonna take me on a honeymoon, and as soon as we get back,
Kink, kink.
divorce. And I post all the pictures, but I would coincidentally have all pictures of me on the honeymoon, and I'd just be like, "Look what I'm eating. Look where I'm at."
None
That's
of
how
them
it
with
would
him.
go.
He probably even
Not
took the
one.
pictures.
That's funny. I love it. Or take a picture with him and then crop him out.
That.
You put him
That
on the
right there.
That's what I'm writing that down. I'm
I just
writing
realized this is why I'm single.
that.
That's why I'm still single.
All right, so we're gonna get back to the show because I got questions and things I need answers.
Yes.
So, uh, Miss T, will you bring us back from break?
All right. Here we go. Let me wipe my eye one more time. I got this thing where like my left eye likes to leak when I have mascara on. I hate it. Anyways,
You should get
all
some
right. Here.
extra allergen stuff.
Oh, I never thought about
Yeah,
that.
it's your allergies.
Is that
Mhm.
what it is? Even if it's just the left
Hmm.
eye?
Yeah.
Dang. See, I learn more when I'm around you guys all the time. How about that? All right, I'll keep that in mind. All right, here we go. Five, four, three, two, and one. Welcome back, everybody, to Brown Sugar Confessions here on Power 1017, YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, under Doc Val Nefertiti. And I feel like I'm missing something. Instagram. We are on Instagram. Please like, subscribe, and follow. We are still on the road to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube and probably a little over 1,000 on Facebook and Instagram. I know Doc Val, wherever she is in the world, still probably stepping on somebody's neck and humiliating them because that's what she is paid to do. Probably has like over like a million subscribers at this point on her TikTok. We don't know. Do y'all know? I don't even know. I follow her, but I never keep count. Anyways, don't forget to like and subscribe to us if you have a question that you would love to talk about with us in the wonderful world of the internet. If you want to confess, you can always reach out to us at brownsugarconfessions@gmail.com. That is brownsugarconfessions with an S at gmail.com. If you want to talk to Doc Val specifically, because whatever it is you want to confess may be a little personal, you may not want Miss T or Katie or Tracy or even Jessica Potts right ragging you. You know, you can always talk to Doc Val. You can reach out to her at Valerie at swancenter.com. That is Valerie at swan with two N's center.com. All right, so we're going to get back into the show. So we are talking with the Jessica Potts about cannabis and her cannabis advocacy. And if you did not catch the first half of this show, just know this woman has been through a lot. Cannabis might have saved her life. She'll have to tell you whether it did or it didn't, but she is fighting for cannabis advocacy in the great red state of Louisiana, which has its own interesting vices when it's down there. But let's get a little more into our conversation. So, We talked about your cannabis advocacy. We talked about how cannabis has been able to help you with your healing. How does cannabis work with intimacy?
I love it.
I
I love it. I do. Um, because like taking everything into account, like being chronically ill, having to learn how to walk, that means more than walking, that means taking care of yourself, cleaning yourself. You don't feel sexy. You don't necessarily feel attractive or in the mood um, or comfortable necessarily uh, to get back in that saddle. So cannabis really has helped me understand and learn what I like for myself and what I like for my partners. And also it makes it makes me more relaxed and in tune with the sexual energy and our connection that is happening. And I think a lot of people, and especially people who are 40 plus, who have or who are taking different medications, especially blood pressure medicine for our guys out there, um, and antidepressants or anti-anxiety meds, which a lot of people are on, it can affect your libido. And
Mhm.
I want more women to be able to talk about that. And I want more Black women to understand that you're supposed to enjoy sex. It's not supposed to be a chore, and to enjoy your sexuality. And um, cannabis has been a safe and effective way for me to do that.
I dig this, especially the enjoyment thing, because sometimes whenever I do get the chance to have a good time, I be like, dang, this is a lot of work, man. Like
Yeah, yeah,
I don't want to be doing all this, and then like I gotta be pretty, shave, I gotta look right, like I gotta like do the moves to make it feel good for me at least.
yeah,
Like, it's a lot of work, and I want to work. That's what I
yeah.
be
And
thinking.
especially if that's your first time connecting with that person,
Mhm.
being intimate and vulnerable with that person. Um, you know, I don't advise alcohol because I find that alcohol really changes or turns up people's personalities and perceptions. And you can have a lot of regret after alcohol that
Yeah, a
I,
lot of it too.
yeah,
Yeah,
a
after a
lot
lot,
of
a
it.
lot of alcohol. Yeah.
Yeah. So, with cannabis, I find that it doesn't necessarily do that. In any form, like black you out to where you don't know what you're doing or you're in uncomfortable situations. Um, I think that at all times it should be consensual. Like you should not be, you know, dosing people, giving them food that is infused and they don't know. That's just akin to, putting anything else in somebody's food or water. Um, but also something I found, ladies.
Mm?
Listen, are you ready?
Uh-oh. Do I need my drink for this? I need my drink for this. Okay.
It's so good because listen, find the THC, or you can make it yourself. I know Treese probably already has a recipe that she'll send out. THC infused lubricant. Now, wait, you're like, wait a minute, what? Now, THC acts as a vasodilator. So it opens up all the lovely blood vessels. And so when that touches your nether regions, your beans, and all the fats, and your cantaloupes and everything, it wakes them up. Okay, it's like imagine all those blood vessels getting filled with and engorged with blood, and they're excited and happy and stimulated to be touched. That's what THC lubricant can do for you.
Hold on,
What
before you
I'm
say
gonna
anything, Tracy, for all the 16 and under listening, because I know y'all are, get off of this show right now. Come
No,
back
not
next
right
week.
now. Not right now.
This is not for you. What
It's
I'm
not for
gonna
you.
say is, if you want to make macaroni noises, do that. Do that. If
Macaroni
you want
noise. Oh.
it, yeah, you want
In a
that wet
pot.
macaroni? Y'all know what I'm talking about. That. Yeah, got that guap. Got that guap.
It's like shwa, 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 shwa.
What what I'm gonna tell you is it also helps to with lubrication. Even if you're
Yes.
eating it eternally, it helps with lubrication. Um, yeah, cannabis and me, we're like this. We're like this. I put people in the hospital because of me and cannabis.
She really
And
I'm not
has.
saying do it.
all effects that Tracy has are for the general public. Okay,
Nah.
she has like don't
She's an
expect.
alien. Don't mess with that. Don't
Yes,
mess with the final boss.
Yeah, don't
yes.
don't do it.
Don't
Don't deal
think
with me.
that you can rock with her like that.
Nah.
Okay.
Don't mess with the final boss.
But
Don't
yeah,
do it.
it does help with, especially if you're a menopausal woman,
Mm.
do you know what I'm saying? It helps with lubrication. And it also helps with um, muscle relaxation.
Mm-hmm.
If you have that issue, or you have had some trauma or surgery or something like that, it really, really, really does help. Get that
Bet.
macaroni noises going. Stop sounding like dry shaking bones and get some macaroni noises.
What does dry shaking bones sound like?
You know what it sounds like, that. It sounds dry, like
Yeah.
stop it.
Like,
Don't play with me. Y'all know
like,
what this sounds like.
like
Yeah, it's
that?
not something you want to stick anything in necessarily.
Yeah, exactly. Look, we want, we want, we want that like whop. We want it
Yeah.
like
The
Niagara Falls,
squishy,
like
squishy, squishy.
Yeah,
yeah.
Squish.
because you
We
would
want
stick your
we want
hand in
glazed
gel,
donut.
right? But would you stick your hand in like nails? Which one?
Yeah, you
You
got a
get
point there.
glazed Krispy Kreme donut. Get on. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me.
I want to eat a Krispy Kreme
It's
donut. I don't want to feel like one.
Yes,
filled,
you do.
cream filled, or jelly,
Cream filled.
whichever one you want.
Yeah, yeah, you do. Everybody does. Everybody
I
does.
want to
Warm, make
eat
it real
that.
hot. Bite into it
Ah!
So
as you had
I
had
would
your
personally,
cannabis.
I would like to talk more about, possibly, I don't want to, are there specific strands? We don't have to get into name because we are on the
Mhm.
radio,
Yeah.
but are there specific strands that you can look up that can help? And do you have a resource for that? Like, do you have a website, or do you have information that you can share with us so that we can share it with the general public? I think because there are so, if you're new to this, if you're a baby, you probably think all cannabis is all cannabis, right? It's all the same.
No.
But we know that that's completely not true. There is cannabis for anxiety, there is cannabis for pain, and there's cannabis for head relaxation, and cannabis for full body relaxation.
Mhm.
Um, can we talk about that?
Yes. So if you would like a personal consultation, you can go to my website, which is www.bonne, BONNE, Sante, SANTELA.com. That means good health in French. Um, so with specific strains, that depends really on, after talking to someone about what's their issue sexually or being intimate. Is it pain? Is it trauma? Is it the fact, oh, like I have bad knees, like what it, or is it a mental thing? And then you can play with the different cannabinoids and terpenes. Now a lot of people are like, oh, sativas or indicas. Well, in 2023, that's not really a viable thing to say anymore, because there's not any more really true sativas, true indicas. Everything's kind of a hybrid now. And
Mm.
you'll have an indica dominant or a sativa dominant. Sativa, just for those of you who don't know, that gives you more of a head high, head relaxation, or sometimes even mentally stimulating. Um, the indica, think of in the couch. It's
That's
a
how I
full,
learned it.
yes, it's a full body relaxation, and tension release. I'll say it like that. The hybrids, which that's what you're going to find unless you have a specific craft grower that, I don't know, Tracy probably knows somebody for that too. That
Who
grows this
doesn't she know?
cannabis in the Himalayan mountains only on, the third year, some crazy stuff like that.
You
But
got to get it from Lake Minnetonka.
yes, yes. So so what people have to start doing, or you can hire somebody, a consultant, is you have to look at the terpenes and the parent plant basically, and try to also see if the patient is on any prescription medications
Hmm.
that can really be the cause of low libido or impotence or anything like that. So the long and short of it is it's really all individual. Like there's not a, here, take this green giant lube and rub that on, and that's gonna get you that's gonna get you going. You know, there are definitely things that kind of help. Like I said, the THC infused lubricants, and they're really hard to find now. So, Foria made one, and they've discontinued it, but it was fabulous. And also, the tinctures are good. If you like to smoke, some people don't. Um, that helps, and that's really a fast, relaxant for you. Um, yeah, and massages and creams and oils are really good for intimacy, period. Like, it doesn't have to be penetration.
That's good to know. Um, Bonne Sante.
Bonne
Sante.
Sante, yes.
Sante. Okay,
Yes,
I've been saying it wrong this entire time, and I apologize. I've been saying Bonne
it's
Saint.
okay. It's okay. Look, as long as you say it.
That. So you told us a little bit about Bonne Sante. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
So, that's my advocacy and patient outreach company, and it provides the service of basically taking your knowledge to that next level in cannabis. So it's not just getting the, from your neighborhood dealer or dispensary, just whatever. It's really being proactive and looking at it as more than just a herb that when you happen to light it, it does, it elevates you and makes you
It makes you
giggle.
feel good.
Yes, that it's actually more than that, that it actually has these different terpenes, these different cannabinoids, and how they interact with your body and your receptors, and how they will react if you've had certain medications, how it may react differently for you. That is the thing that I really teach people, so they can go anywhere in the country or the world and make informed decisions about what they're consuming and why they're consuming.
Mm, I
Because I'm
like
all
that.
about intent. Even when you just want to get blazed, okay, let that be your intent. If you want to feel sexy, set the intention. I'm all about setting the intention when you imbibe in sacred plant medicine, which I consider cannabis to be. Set the intention. Like, set the intention. I want the the taco to be dripping. If that's your intention, set it.
Got beat up by a taco. I love it.
I lost my whole train of thought on that one.
I don't want a taco, but I do have
Taco with
I do
your
have a
pancakes.
question, and this may take you a while to form the answer. Um,
Okay.
can you please tell us? I always like to suggest to people, um, you know, before you decide to be intimate, you should discuss like I want to say not the do's and don'ts of introducing cannabis into your play. Do you have any do's or don'ts for introducing cannabis into your play?
Um, so because like it's in my name, like my real name and in what I do, my partners know that I consume cannabis. So but you can't take that for granted and assume that everybody knows that and that everybody's comfortable with that. So I definitely would
Facts.
have the conversation before there's even intimacy involved, even before there's any type of, coitus, at play here. um that we have like that understanding and that vibe anyway. Because she may not need, like, they may, you know, and but they should, they need to be totally cool with me using um and consuming cannabis as I want to, so I can enjoy the time as well. Um it shouldn't be a forced thing, and it shouldn't be a judgmental thing. And if you're with someone or dating or talking or whatever y'all are doing or is having a situationship, and they're not respecting and honoring and allowing you autonomy and space in something as intimate as them being inside you or vice versa. I like, come on. Like, what are we doing? Like, have, like, if that person can't talk to you about that and they're not open, then that's probably not somebody you need to be. Like, they're gonna use you up, honey. Just don't do that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That is very fair. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Um, do you suggest, okay, so I guess this is a weird question. So you know how some people don't have the gene to process alcohol. Is there a thing where people do not have, and I speak of this and now Doc Val just popped into my mind. If you know her story about her time on
Oh,
cannabis,
she's severely allergic.
Also,
yes.
she had the
So
vomiting.
yes,
Okay.
and other
That's some of
things.
it.
Uh, so I'm wondering, is there a safe way to test besides smoking or ingesting? Like, is there an allergy test or something like that? Or do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying
Yeah,
to,
yeah, and
Like a
I
spot
wish.
test.
Yeah,
yes.
Just put a spot on there. You still alive? Okay, you're good. Here you go.
yeah. I mean, now you could definitely test the topical on a spot. Definitely. Um, and if you're going to test, if you're gonna, I'm gonna say this, it's going through your lungs, processing it through your lungs. So inhalation, it gets in your system fast, and it also gets out of your system fast. So if so with allergic reactions, the most documented that they've had is where people have the cyclical vomiting and they just cannot stop vomiting, which I'm sure is miserable. I haven't heard of them not having, like, people who like can't get high. Now, they, depending on your body, depends on how you process the THC. So for me, I process THC extremely fast. So I will get high, but I burn through it really quickly. But I also do that with pain medicines as well. So
Mm.
it's like if you burn through depressants, like if alcohol, pain medicine, benzos, cannabis, anything that they consider depressants, if you have a tolerance or burn through those fast, then you probably will with THC. Now, on the other side, I'm very sensitive to stimulants.
So no
So
caffeine, no speed, stuff like that.
yeah, no speed,
No
no mess,
speed.
Oh, that
no
went
mess.
to that
I
went
want
from
to
zero
mess.
to extreme very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
None of that. None of that. So um that's why I kind of have a laissez-faire type of attitude a little bit with cannabis because I'm like, it's not going to kill you. The worst that's going to happen is you'll have a bad moment. You'll have a bad time, you know, but it's not, unless you're Tracy and you're putting people in the hospital for the reasons, uh, then, then you're not going to kill somebody. You're not going to kill yourself. The worst that'll happen is you may have cyclical vomiting for some hours. Um, and some, some people have had cases of paranoia and increased anxiety, and that's really from them getting too much THC. They got too high too fast.
Too fast, too
Okay.
hard. That happens.
All right, so we have officially like 4 minutes left in this
Ooh.
really great show. Can you please tell us about your festival, Red Stick?
Okay, so I started Red Stick Cannabis Festival and Street Fair last year, and it was a great success. And so we're having another one in 2024, which is quickly approaching May 18th in the capital city of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Um, I invite all of you from all over the world and country to come out and experience more than just New Orleans. Louisiana is a beautiful state. We have great food everywhere, and there's a lot of things to see. And come to our festival.
I'm here for this. Can we take a road trip?
I'm here for it. Yeah.
Please.
I want to go. I want to
Yes.
be a
That's
part
so
of the
much faster
thing.
road trip for you than it is for us, though, Miss T.
This is also true. So here's what we're going to do. You guys are going to fly here. I'm going to pick you up in like the rental or whatever, and we're going straight there.
Yeah, to the get on the
75 South on the I-10. I got you.
Yes, let's go. I want to go.
I
I
think it's
think that'll
I-10. It's
just be
probably
good
like
fun.
I-59 or
I-10.
something.
It
It
is.
is I-10?
Yeah, I-10 goes
Okay.
straight through here.
Okay. Bet.
I'm
75 to
down
I-10.
for
I
it.
got it. Let's go.
So, tell us the dates again for Red Stick. Like, is it just a 1 day event or is this a multiple day event?
No, right now it's just one day. It's May 18th, 2024. We have live bands, DJs. We have actually the university comes out and does free expungements for people, which is really big, especially here with our crime. And also we have doctors doing medical recommendations, and we have around the clock educational seminars that deal with advocacy, social justice, social equity, the actual medicine side of cannabis, the legal side, the policy side, all that great stuff.
Oh,
Having a
that's
business
cool.
in cannabis, yes. So
Oh,
it's
that is
a time to catch everybody who's interested.
wow. That is holy cow. I don't even know what to say. That's a lot.
That's awesome.
That is awesome, especially the fact that you're bringing in doctors and the university to help with expungement. Like, this is unheard of.
And in
This
Mm-hmm.
is
Louisiana,
unheard of.
it's $583 per charge.
Oh.
Wow. So they get you every which way they can.
We
Crime
heard
really
this
does
world.
not pay, y'all. Yeah, crime really does not pay.
It don't.
Holy
It
cow.
doesn't pay you, it pays
It pays
them.
Yeah.
somebody. It just ain't you.
Yeah, it pays just ain't you. Like
Yes.
you're out of it. Wow. So I want to check the time really quick because I think I have one more question.
We might have to hit
We're
the
out.
question in the after party.
Oh
Go ahead. You
man.
know what? I'm going to let you. We're going to go in a little
Oh,
overtime. Go ahead and ask your
Oh,
question, and
Buddy
then let's
KD said keep
catch
the
the
party
last.
going. Let's go.
Catch the last question.
Let's
Let's go.
go. Okay. So I this is a personal question. I take edibles and a lot of people take them and they have like very calming reactions. I, on the other hand, am a little mischievous gremlin. I don't want to say I get into trouble, but I steal people's phones. I steal their cookies. I steal their little Debbies. I put people in the hospital. Like,
She's a blonde gremlin off of Gremlins too.
Yeah, yeah. In the wedding dress.
Yeah, the one that's got like the beauty mole sticking all the way out here.
yes, the fancy one.
Yeah.
Um, so I know when I take cannabis, my partners have been like, "Oh, here we go with this,"
Like
right?
I ain't got enough
I
hydration for this.
look,
Literally.
thank you to all the doctors at the hydration tent in Maui. I appreciate all your assistance. Uh,
We need to get one of them on the show.
and
For real.
and for those 2 bags for my partners, they appreciate that. Um, I know that's not a usual thing, right? That's not, I don't think that's usual. When I see everybody, they take cannabis, they get very relaxed. Meanwhile, on
Hmm.
the other hand, I am the very opposite of that. I have tried several different strains and I have tried like halving a dose and taking less and less and less, but I still get the same reaction. Um, I don't want to say is that normal, but is that normal?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, if you're doing it, it's normal. But I do have some follow up questions. So is it only edibles that has that effect? So not so smoking as well. Like I'm sure cream salves.
I've done the lubes, I've done the creams. When I tell you, it's just a matter of how quickly I go into gremlin state.
Okay.
It is literally just
So it's more of a matter of time. Who's gonna put her
yeah,
in gremlin mode the quickest?
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
literally.
that
And
sounds like that is maybe your most natural and relaxed state.
So you're naturally a gremlin.
That's what it sounds like.
tell me more. Tell me more.
That's what, like, yeah, like it pulls it out. Like you become you. You're free to be you.
I am.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm a gremlin. I need a shirt. Maybe that should be my next cosplay.
You know what? We need to make like another Etsy store of all of our T-shirts, and that is going to be
We do.
one gremlin mode on.
Oh my gosh. Well, I think that's the end of our podcast. And I really want to send the most sincere thanks to Jessica Potts, the Louisiana Cannabis, for
Thank you,
being here to
guys.
round out our amazing month of Kinktober. Thank you for joining us. This was really a good show.
This
Really
was.
good show. I got to thank the co-host, Miss T and KD. Thank you. And
Fabulous.
we have to thank and salute our fearless leader out there stepping on necks and making grown men cry.
We salute you, Doc Val.
And we always have to say it. Consent is key.
Hmm.
And two, stay safe and play safe. We love you. Bye.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Brown Sugar Confessions on Power 1017. Go to our Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram page at Brown Sugar Confessions to like, share, and follow. Stay safe and play safe. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.